as fit emotionally, spiritually, and physically as we possibly can, because in the world of energy, like attracts like. So we try, I do anyway, I learn over time how to clear my head, how to keep myself in the best state possible in all aspects of self.
So when you're preparing to work with a client, how do you prepare yourself? Is there a ritual that you follow?
Oh, definitely follow steps, and steps will give you consistency. I teach a system which I develop, but it's really based on other people's systems.
Mm-hmm.
I call it LOVE, love. These are the steps. L stands for let go and meditation. I usually find myself a deep theta or psychic type of meditation with binaural beats, something like that. Then I open in prayer, and during the prayer segment of my preparation, I'm asking for all the things I need, including working in highest love and light,
Mm-hmm.
that there be healing, that there be facts presented that are evidential. Then I do a vibration alignment, which is a little added thing I got from somebody who studied over at Arthur Findlay in England. And then finally, the E stands for entirely receive. Entirely receiving your messages is one of the most difficult aspects of being a psychic and a medium. If you're curious about that, I'll explain a little more.
Please.
Well, entirely receiving means that no matter what you get, how crazy it may seem, you do need to deliver that message to the sitter, the one receiving the messages.
Mm-hmm.
For example, during my radio show, I had a connection to a mother in spirit for daughter on the phone line. And the mother in spirit showed me a mouse dressed in a high top hat and a tuxedo, and was holding holding a needle with a thread running through it. And I said, I have no idea what this means. And the sitter, the daughter, started to laugh. She says, oh, my mother was a seamstress. So quite often the messages make no sense to the medium, but we have to train ourselves to not be fearful of delivering what we get. The more you do that, the more accurate your work becomes.
Yeah, very interesting. Has it ever happened where somebody has asked you to make a connection with the other side and the other side doesn't want to talk to them?
Oh, yeah, sure. It happens less and less the more advanced and developed you are as a medium. But it can happen to any medium. It can happen at any time. There are reasons for it. May I go into them?
Please.
Okay. Well, one of them would be, I have found some sitters, the ones receiving the messages,
Mm-hmm.
are not that open to hearing the messages. So they may battle you at every point along the way. I've noticed some mediums currently on TV, there's one in particular, who will ask a question. And what happens is the sitter, the one receiving the messages, is unbeknownst to us as watchers, the audience, is opening up her or his energy field when they answer her question. So you have to get the sitter to be open as best as you can as a medium, whatever your techniques are. And then you will have much more success. But if the sitter is closed, yes, you'll have problems. If the soul does not want to come through, yes, you'll have problems. I find most of the problems, however, come because the sitter is not open for some reason to receiving the messages.
Could it be possible that the sitter is trying to suppress some thought or some fear when communicating with the other side?
Oh, that's definitely one of the reasons. There are other reasons. Perhaps they're just very, very skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps they're just a control freak and they can't let down their barriers. And every time I would talk, for example, they might interrupt me. And I'm trying to make a connection, and if they keep interrupting, they keep dislocating the connection. Let's see what else. Maybe they don't want to talk to the soul that popped in. Like I had one sitter, his mother was with me from spirit, and she didn't want to talk to her mother. She wanted somebody else. And it's usually done this way. Spirit is in control. We're not. And they're going to bring in of course, there was a problem in their relationship, mother to daughter, and the mother wanted to make good on it. Daughter didn't want any part of that. So those are other reasons. But yeah, there's times when, you knock and you try to find somebody in spirit and you just can't, no matter how hard you do your work.
All right, Laura, please stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Okay. Exonation Spirit Medium Laura is our special guest this hour, www.spiritmediumlaura.com, and we'll be back on the other side of the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV, and our main website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My name is Rob McConnell. I'll be back on the other side of this news break. Don't go away.
The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everyone. My guest this hour is Spirit Medium Laura. Her website, www.spiritmediumlaura.com. Have you ever had anyone who's tried to con you?
You mean a soul come in from the other side that was a trickster? Is that what you mean?
Well, let's get into that one a little later. But somebody who's contacted you and said, "Hi, Spirit Medium Laura, I'd like to have you do a session with me." And these people know darn well that what they're trying to do is just see if you're real or not.
It has happened, sort of, not directly, but I have been invited in to a person's home once for a circle.
Okay.
And she didn't realize it, but some of her guests had that kind of attitude. And I felt like I was a pig set up for slaughter.
Oh, my goodness.
It was awful. It was just terrible. But in general, no. I haven't ever had anything like that happen.
All right, let's go from the spirit side with tricksters.
No, I have never had a spirit come in that I think mediums will call a session where you're not getting correct information from a soul on the other side as a trickster, but I just call it I'm not getting correct information. And then, I just simply try to align. At times, it's hard to align with certain souls, as we were talking about earlier. You're trying to make a connection. And what I've learned over time is to let go for a moment and just leave that space. I get very neutral. That's what meditation does. It helps you train for that. If you get neutral, you just create a blank slate and then see what comes in next. And usually I can pull them in by virtue of something that they make me feel physically. So the more difficult the soul is, the more they're able to pull into me or connect with me through what's called clear sentience or feeling them. But no, in general, I haven't had any tricksters, but I have had some difficult connections.
Based on your many years of experience, what, in your opinion, is the most frequently asked question from the people that you are communicating with to the other side?
In other words, the sitter, what they want to know.
Yes, yeah.
They usually want to know how to connect or if they are connecting now with their loved one in spirit. The way to they want to know, does the loved one in spirit know what's going on now in their life? So I always spend time on that, attempting to bring in a personal message of significance that represents current activity in the sitter's life. The second thing is how to communicate, or if they are communicating. So I always invite the soul and spirit to provide evidence of what's going on with that. And if nothing, sometimes the messages from the soul and spirit I haven't been able to get through because my loved one on earth is not getting the messages. So then we set up a system. Some kind of a system of how to connect with their loved one on the other side.
Now, I understand you give courses, and what kind of courses do you give?
Well, I developed a curriculum that starts with clairsentience and goes right on out through mediumship. It's 16 weeks in total. The first one, the clairsentience, which is clear feeling, is a soul alignment course which has the dual purpose of aligning somebody with their inner magic, their compass to prosperity, if you will. So that's my soul abundance course. The second one is clairaudience, which is channeling or hearing spirit. Third one is clairvoyance, clear seeing of spirit, and that one's kind of interesting. They're all interesting. Of course, I think they're interesting. The clairvoyance one, we read auras, we learn how to heal with chakras. We do telepathy, we do remote viewing. And it's wonderful when you see it happen. When I have an exercise where the class is supposed to send in a message to somebody else and they get it correctly, it's like you're watching, a miracle happen in front of you. And then the last one is the mediumship. And I do them right now online. I like to work online mostly. And I have course material. I've written ebooks. I'm going to take all those ebooks, which are somewhat educational, and the foundation for the courses, and that'll be my second book of how to be a medium, how I became one, and you can too, because it has all these little stories in it of how I stumbled upon knowing and feeling and hearing at various times in my life.
Well, why do you think here in the 21st century that people are still flocking, or maybe not flocking, but there's such an increased interest in mediumship, channeling, psychic phenomenon, remote viewing? Why do you think this has surged over the last 10, 15 years?
There's a couple of answers come to mind. One is that people, it's amusing, it's entertainment. Okay, it's something unusual. It's a miracle. We're not raised to think that we can know things outside of our five senses. But then it's also healing. To think that we don't die is such a phenomenal concept. Of course, it's going to grab your attention. And I also think a third idea is that we are at a level on Earth now where being psychic has become, maybe because of attitude of people accepting it more, or maybe because of vibration, as some people say, our vibration is shifting on Earth to higher frequencies. But it's more prevalent. More and more people are having psychic experiences, personal ones, and they're curious to know more.
So based on the experience and the communications that you've had with the other side, what happens to us when we die?
Well, as my mother said, and she visited me the day she died, that night she came in a three-dimensional dream, flying next to me,
wow.
Waking me up, and she said to me, "Laura, it's nothing like you think it is."
So tell me, how did you feel having your mother beside you who was deceased and giving you this message?
Well, it all felt very natural, Rob, as I do come from a very unusual family. As my mother got ready to transition, she was in hospice and she had lung cancer.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah, but she was a medium herself and a psychic and a metaphysician and all those things. So, we had a very strong simpatico on an intuitive level. It's a very strong connection. So I was doing channeling, not knowing I was doing mediumship. And I realized later on, but I was channeling. I didn't know I was doing mediumship. So as my mother got ready